Hello there everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and today we're talking No7. I bought two makeup products that No7 recently came out with. I've been using both of these for about 3 weeks now, so I feel like I have some pretty put together thoughts on them. The first one is the Lift and Luminate Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder. I did get the shade Light Medium. I always think it's funny when brands have translucent, but they also have a shade. It's weird to me. And then I also got the Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. So first, let's talk about the powder. Let me polish up the packaging for you, because it's a mirrored package, so it does show quite a bit of fingerprints. Not a big deal, but it is the packaging they normally do for their compacts, and this is how it looks. It does come with the mirror on the other side. I don't know if you guys have tried the Maybelline Better Skin, or is it Super Stay Better Skin, or just Better Skin powder? That comes with a little sponge and a mirror. It's an amazing powder. Super silky, beautiful finish. That's a beautiful, really special kind of powder. That's how this feels. Like, it feels like that, really silky soft, but this feels a little bit thicker, not like a foundation kind of powder. It just has a little more substance to it. But as you can see, this is how it looks. It does have a shade to it, and if you overdo it with the powder, I did put this powder on today just as a finishing touch, but it does have a little bit of a shade to it, even though it's called translucent. I did get the shade Light Medium, and if I put on more than one layer, or I kind of layer it up later in the day, you can see an obvious, my face doesn't look like it matches anymore. It looks a little bit darker. But anyway, let me talk about the claims of here. The claims on the powder here. It says 3 age-defying results, reduces the appearance of fine lines, even skin tone, visibly smooths the skin. I don't know if the reducing the appearance of fine lines is a long-lasting benefit. I think it appears to reduce fine lines because it smooths over your skin. As far as evening the skin tone, I would say yeah, it does that because, it has a little bit of coverage to it, so it will kind of help out your foundation. It's not a powder on its own that's going to really do a whole lot. It does say suitable for sensitive skin. I know No7 is a hypoallergenic brand. It says it does not cake or settle into fine lines throughout the day and feels soft and silky, delivers a radiant finish. For best results, apply using powder brush to blend into the face in circular motions. For best results, use, of course, with other No7 products. I found better results with this when I used a fluffier brush. Later on in the day, at the other product I'll talk about here, I did have to kind of powder that throughout the day, and this powder came in super handy. It does work very well as a finishing powder at the end of your makeup. Like today, I put it on at the end of my foundation. Actually, after foundation, I put the powder on lightly with the powder brush. And I found that it gives a very nice... It almost has the same results as the Milani Prep Set Glow Powder. Not as glowy and shiny, but it's not super matte. It doesn't super mattify your skin. It just kind of finishes it. And it looks really nice. It's a very nice finishing powder. But later on in the day, like trying to powder my oily skin or my chin or my oily spots, it kind of over mattifies, so it makes the spots that I powdered look super flat, and then the rest is still shiny. So when I would powder the whole face, it kind of doesn't really work that well. If you're the kind of person that likes using powder to blot your face later in the day or add powder to control shine, this really doesn't work that well for it. It doesn't cling to dry patches or anything like that, but it kind of looks heavy. Like I could see clearly that I put a lot of powder on my face, even though I was using a big heavy brush. I did try using a more dense brush and kind of pressing it where it would go, into the sides of my nose and stuff. And, using a more dense application kind of created more color on my face because, like I said, if you're layering this up later in the day, by the time I got home from work, my face was an obvious different color than my neck and stuff. So yeah. I didn't really like it for touching up during the day, but as a nice setting powder, right after you're done with your makeup, it looks nice. Maybe apply it one more time if you want to kind of blot, but do it in one, even layer with a big powder brush. And it's a nice powder for that. It's not the most amazing powder I've ever used. I don't like that you can see a shade building up on your face as you continue to use it. I really wish it was truly translucent, but I do know they have a translucent powder already, but it's not part of the Lift and Illuminate line. Alright, so next up, this was the most exciting thing. This is the Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. Obviously, these are going to be compared to the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. So I tried those out when they came out, and I hated them. I thought they were disgusting, and I hated it. So when I saw this come out, for some reason, I didn't hesitate to buy it. I was like, yes, I want to try that. They have quite a bit of shades. It's not an amazing shade range. Normally with number 7, I have a hard time finding a shade that I really like for my skin tone because they don't have a lot of neutral shades. They're either yellow or pink, and I really prefer neutral shades. But this one I got is called Cool Ivory. I do notice when I overuse or put too many drops, it kind of starts looking a little pinkish on me. 2 drops is like my max that I will use of this. So it says 1 drop for light coverage, 2 drops for medium, 3 drops for full. Mix with moisturizer or primer. Blend on smoothly and evenly with your finger, sponge, or brush. So I have mixed this with quite a bit of things that I have used. I've used moisturizers, different moisturizers, and different primers. I've also tried to mix it in with other foundations. And just like the custom cover drops from Cover FX, this doesn't mix well with everything. I just noticed this, like, I keep staring at this little piece of my hair. It doesn't mix well with everything. So you do have to shake it up. You can, there's like probably a ball bearing or something in there to help it mix. I'll drop out 1 drop for you so you can see the shade. And when I dropped out a little bit to kind of test the shade, it looked really, really dark. And I was like, oh my god, that's going to be way too dark for me. But of course, this is extremely concentrated pigment. Once you get it in with a primer or a moisturizer, it looks totally different. So I kind of freaked out a little bit, but I started using it, of course, 1 drop only. And it doesn't mix well with a lot of things. It doesn't mix well with most primers that I have that are moisturizing primers. Obviously, try not to use something that has dimethicone or silicone in it. It's really not going to mix well with this. It'll just keep separating itself from itself. And I found that that kept happening. When I tried to mix it in with the number 7 City Light Tinted Moisturizer, it did not work. It kind of kept separating on my skin, and it looked so gross. The only primer I have found it actually works extremely well with is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. It mixed extremely well with this. Let's see if I can demo a little bit. This is literally the only primer that it mixed well, and it looked so beautiful on the skin. I don't think I put enough, but we'll see how it mixes. How you can kind of see. So once you get it in with your primer or your moisturizer, it definitely thins out the coverage and the shade a little bit. With 1 drop, I think I get very similar results to the Rimmel Lasting Finish Breathable Foundation, and I loved it. It looked so great. I tried 2 drops. 2 drops is like the max I'm going to do. I tried, and it gives you a great super even coverage with 2 drops. I didn't have to add concealer to different spots I wanted to conceal because I liked the coverage so much. 3 drops for me, and it's a little too dark. The coverage does get more intense, but also the shade starts developing, and I could start seeing a lot of pink, and I just didn't like how it looked on my skin. The only thing with this primer is that it makes my skin extremely oily if I don't put foundation on top of it. So later on in the day, that's where this powder kept coming in handy, is because probably around 11 o'clock, I would have this on about, I don't know, 7-ish, 7:15-ish, and around lunchtime, I would look in the mirror, and I would be like, shiny, like reflective. So I would powder with the powder, and that's where I kind of got my feelings on that. But anyway, it would make my skin super duper oily, but I still really liked the way it looked together. But I found that this combo with the powder together it looked really great throughout the day. But yeah, it doesn't mix well with quite a bit of things that I have. It didn't mix well with other foundations, but I also found that the same thing kept happening with the custom cover drops from Cover FX. It doesn't mix well with most things. I don't know why that is, but as long as I found 1 primer that does really work with it, I'm okay with that because I really like that primer. And yeah, that is that. Those are the 2 things I purchased from number 7. If you have tried this, let me know what things you have been able to mix it with that it works really well with. And because I'm trying to look for more things to mix it with because I don't want to keep using the same primer all the time. But yes, that is that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love to hear your opinion on these products if you've tried them yourself. And that is that. I will see you in another video. Goodbye.